Yeah, super cool show. Have you seen the Umbrella Academy yet?
I have not.
It's so hard to keep up with all of these
There's
things.
so many new shows out all of the time. Yeah.
I know. I've got Russian Doll coming soon. I've been binging that.
My wife just finished Downton Abbey.
And
I think that took like a month or something. You know?
I'll expect a review from you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so shoot that.
She's coming on the show.
Okay, well, Johnny and I have both been playing a lot of Anthem, like the rest of the world out there. A lot of people curious about BioWare's latest game. Electronic Arts just published this thing, and
all the big reviews are out on this.
Yes,
and it's looking a little bit negative, and we're going to say our little bit on it.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think I'm ready to kind of sum it up right now.
Me either.
Because I've been playing a lot of it. I'm at about level 15 right now.
Yeah.
And I think 30 is the level cap. So I'm nowhere near the end game yet, but I've got a nice big taste of this game.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
Are you having fun? Just before everything else, are you having fun?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, I've been sick all week. I had all my notes ready to talk about Anthem.
Yeah.
And I got sick, and then I saw everybody else's reviews, and I'm like, I have a little bit of positive to say, but it honestly is not a great game.
No.
It aspires to be.
Yeah, and I think that there's I had a thought about playing the game, because the most beautiful thing, obviously, the mechanics of being in the suit, in the Javelin suit, and the mobility that provides and the mechanics that provides is exhilarating. It's super fun.
That is the bit that is working very, very well, being able to, fly around the world, everybody's saying Iron Man style. I try not to think about Iron Man when I'm playing.
Well,
I don't
it's definitely superhero style, and it makes you think, is BioWare building a superhero game as well with these kinds of mechanics?
Yeah.
But here's my thought. In this game, you spend a lot of time, it's mostly player versus environment, but there's cooperative play as well. So you're fighting whatever the game serves up at you. It's a looter shooter. But in this game, you spend so much time flying over beautiful
scenic, like an Avatar-esque world.
Yeah, like you'll fly into the water and you'll see jellyfish that are glowing. You'll fly over these ancient ruins. The stuff that you fly over in this game
is gorgeous.
It looks like better games, though, than what you're playing. You know what I mean?
So,
you're flying over the ruins of awesome things that you're not playing.
You should be down there a little bit more.
You should.
You're just gonna fly over.
It's like, what happened to all those cool things that happened? I would have liked to see who built these awesome statues and. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my pros. I'm gonna go through my pros. The graphics and world design, I wrote that down.
Yeah.
The mecha suits are cool.
Yes.
I like them.
Yes.
Story is okay-ish. It's all right.
I zoned out, man. And I know what they're doing is like they're putting the lore into little scrolls and into tapes.
Yeah.
But
that's why I said okay-ish.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's okay-ish.
And that's inexcusable from a company like BioWare, where it starts from story first and character development first, and you're sort of entranced by the world building that they're doing. And in this one, it's so piecemeal. And it's like aesthetically, it looks great, but it's like
It's kind of weird when you're a player and you can tell the developers how to do it better.
Yeah.
It should be the other way around. This is their job. I'm not saying being funny, right?
Yeah.
We play video games. They should be delivering the BioWare experience, showing this amazing world, which they've done, and delivering a story that sucks you in. How hard is that to do?
Incredibly hard.
It seems so. Okay, we're still on the positives here. I'm going to say the action is fun when it works.
Yeah.
And it doesn't at times, and we're going to get to that.
Yep.
Flying is wonderful. I put down Hub World is not bad.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be a little bit more.
Fort Tarsus?
Yeah, I wanted to be running around talking to people, feel like I'm really in there. But it felt like I never really feel like I'm in the world.
No, you
even
open the
when I'm
door.
Like hours in.
You open the door, and then you always see the same townspeople walking across the market. And it's like that's that same sequence every time. And they try to do it like it's like this big super reveal, but you walk in, and it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, it should be inviting and a fun environment to play in. You should enjoy all these characters.
And I think it's a weird decision to go to first person after you've been traveling through the world in third person. I don't think there's any real benefit from being in the eyes of the character. We should see the character, I think, right?
Okay, now we get into the cons. Is there any more positives you want to say?
No.
I know. I'm the same way.
I play it and I zone out. I'm like, okay, this is fun. It's flying around. Okay.
And you know, my problem is this, and I know it for you as well. We're positive people.
Yes.
And we want to play games, and especially with the hype on this being big,
dude,
we
I
want
love
to play this
BioWare,
for a long time.
And I remember just the video that I put up of when Mass Effect Andromeda came out and how heartbroken I was, and I feel
the same here.
I feel the
same.
I feel even a little more heartbroken because when I play this game, it feels like BioWare is trying trying to figure out how to make Destiny. And I don't want BioWare to figure out how to make Destiny. I want BioWare to make BioWare games that blow me away.
If they've really lost where they're going, I think, as a company. Which I hate to say. There's no fun in saying this.
I feel like if BioWare was given another year, just like with Mass Effect Andromeda, this game would be incredible.
It feels very rushed, and you bring up a good point there.
Yeah.
Okay, in fact, the very first time I played it, I started going, I'm flying around the world great, so I know I'm playing the game fine.
Yeah.
And then the next day I start playing it again.
Yeah.
The lag.
Yeah.
I had lag so bad that was bizarre. My internet is fantastic at home.
Yeah.
I'm running around, I'm seeing enemies, and the AI is so lame.
And predictable.
It's really bad.
And you're going to see the same frost wolves and the same, ape-looking bad guys and the big spiders.
The enemies are just kind of running around in circles, and sometimes the guys with the big shield out, and you're like, okay, I've seen that before, type of thing. But here's what was getting me. I'll shoot an enemy, and it will just disappear, not from my gunshot. Right. It will just go.
Or you'll fly to shoot an enemy and it will disappear because of some instancing issue that's happening.
And so it doesn't feel that you're ever invested. It's like, who cares what I do?
Which is very MMO-like, which is one of the problems that, action skewing players like you and I are when we jump into an MMO, and it's so tethered to all of these other things that are, about being persistent and always in these worlds. Yeah. And then things pop on and disappear all the time, and it feels like that's a little bit of what's going on
I had this really cool moment. I land in the forest, and these big creatures come at me, and I'm like, oh my god, I start shooting it, and I'm not doing any damage. So I shoot a missile, which will do no damage either, and the missile goes all the way down, hits it, and it goes, boop, it's gone. I'm like,
oh, the thing
just
disappeared.
It didn't, disintegrate by my hand. And it was gone, and it just took me out of the game.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of pop-in as well, right?
Dude, there was one time I was on a cliff, and I jumped off the cliff, and it kept putting me back on the cliff.
Right.
I jump off, and it's like, dude, I'm like, what is happening? Is there a wind? There's no wind.
Have you seen the environment sort of pop into frame too?
Oh yeah,
have you
sure.
seen a lot of that?
I've seen a lot like that. For the second day, I got so much lag, and I'm like, okay, it's the servers, right? They're still, but at the same time, they've been beta testing this for a long time. Well, the game is online. That's the job.
And well, here's the thing, right? I mean, there are a lot of free-to-play experiences right now that are making people incredibly happy. We're in the new season of Fortnite. Apex Legends have been crushing it. These are different games, but they're served to you for nothing.
Nothing.
Right? You can play them if you want to play them. If you always want to be with your friends and play something online, you can do that. This is a full-price game.
Full-price game.
A full-price game, and then there are also all kinds of other ways for BioWare and EA to make more money from this game. But it's coming plagued with technical issues and expectation issues, and I know BioWare can keep working on this, but should people expect to pay full price for a game that they know they're going to have to commit to over a long period of time to get their value from, or should people just wait it until it's done?
Wait
if it ever will be done, because I've heard that the sales aren't that great.
I say just wait till it's a patch, or they give it away for free.
Yeah.
The big problem with the game, this is a loot game.
Yeah.
We collect loot, and you should have amazing gear.
Yes.
The problem is, Phantasy Star Online came out 19 years ago.
Right.
Right off the bat, you run through the forest, you get a double saber. You're like, hey, this is cool. It's like the Phantom Menace.
Yes.
You felt a little bit of excitement. This. I never felt that I had some cool weapon.
Yeah.
They all look the same.
Yeah.
Why can't I have some ridiculous weapon from some crazy movie or for some other video game? Having a bit of fun. It takes itself too seriously.
Yeah.
And to almost a detriment.
Well,
I think it's really. Yeah.
Well, and all you got to do is think back to the first Mass Effect and how much was on the disc and how much was already there for you. And
that game blew me away.
Right. And then 2 was incredible and 3 was. I mean, there were some issues with those games, and people had some stuff that was pissed off, but there was so much incredible work just provided to you for that purchase price. And in this one, it's like you're paying to continue testing it and to continue improving it. And that's just really deflating, And the weird, surreal thing for me is I'm playing this game, and I've got this current Super Nintendo obsession thing going on right now. So I'm surrounded by all these cartridges in my little game cave as I'm playing this game, and I'm just looking at all these games. And I'm like, all of these games, they came with everything already embedded onto that cartridge. Different era, different time, different team size, all of that, but they were the full experience right there. And here I'm playing this game that doesn't feel full, doesn't feel finished.
Going back to what you said at the beginning, I think they rushed this to get it out.
Yep.
It does not feel finished. The AI is a joke, to be honest with you, at times.
And then EA threw out Apex Legends. It surprised
At the
everybody
worst time for
in
that.
the same
I know,
month.
I know.
So it's so easy to compare the two experiences and say,
Yeah.
well, this one's free and I'm having a lot of fun. This one's not free and no one's playing this with me right now.
Yeah, what do we wait for a patch? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But the thing I will also say is when the action is working,
Yes.
it is phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah, you feel like a badass
Yes.
in that suit for sure.
When-
and
yeah.
you're leveling up, and I'm right now. I'm a Storm Javelin, which looks extraordinarily like Iron Man. I've colored him red and yellow, and he has lightning attack abilities and frost attack abilities. It's super fun, and
Yeah.
the mechanic element there is engaging as hell.
Yeah.
Way more so than the kind of talking to the same people standing around in the corners of
Yeah.
Fort Tarsus about something that doesn't, it just meanders and goes into some
Yeah.
topic I don't really care about.
We have
Yeah.
no pleasure coming in today.
I know.
Being disappointed by this
Heartbroken
game.
again.
We really didn't want that. I've been talking about this game for a couple of years since it was first
Yeah.
shown, and I was like, can't wait for this. It's like Fantasy Star Online
Yes.
now, and Fantasy Star Online was better for me personally.
I know. I feel like there's there's big lessons to be learned by investment into single player experiences like Spider-Man and God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn, and there's big
Exactly.
lessons to be learned by looking in the past. I really hope that once the industry pivots and becomes completely subscription based, and we're not really obsessed with owning half of our game on a disc and then half of our game served
hate
up
that,
to us, that the piecemeal sort of access that we have to this content goes away.
Yeah.
Because still we may still have games as service and things that are constantly, but it won't be served up so sparingly. We'll get more of it right out of the get-go. Yeah.
But unfortunately, so far, a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, and I don't want to score it yet because I do want to
exactly.
complete the campaign, but I've been let down so far. Yep.